Good afternoon. Welcome to this week's Plan With Me, or Rewind Plan With Me memory keeping, whatever we're calling it now. I'm taking stickers, putting them on some paper, and telling you what happened during the week of January 10th through January 16th, which was a week that I cooked a lot. Otherwise, not a lot happened, but some things did, and we'll get into it. When we get into it, this week I am using a mixture of a bunch of different foil items. I am using mostly Sparkly Hollow, some Celestial, and some snow items. I think that the Celestial is technically like a Sparkly Star Hollow, and then the snow foil bundle is like an older foil bundle that's like super discounted right now. If you want to pick it up, there's like all of the foil colors, I think, possibly, maybe like Gold, Silver, Hollow, and Sparkly Hollow. I'm not 100% sure, but they're on like mega discount and they still work perfectly fine. So I am using those, and I pulled in a color of the week, and I pulled in this gray because I thought it matched the gray in the kit quite well. I haven't had really a week, I don't think, that I haven't been able to find a color that I think matches. Even the next week that I have like ready to plan, none of the colors match, so I'm using the like silver sparkle, like faux sparkle color, and I think it looks really, really pretty. So this week turned out stunning. This kit, I actually did use the previous format, so like the mystery version of this kit in my planner last year, which I don't know if I've actually ever used the same kit in my planner like in the next year. Does that make sense? Like 2 years in a row, I guess would be the way of saying it. I'm also using the new print impression inserts. I will link them down below. I don't know if I started using them this week or last week, but I love them. I'm obsessed, obviously. But yeah, I don't think I've ever used the same kit 2 years in a row. And this is probably one of my all-time favorite mysteries of all time. My favorite mystery of all time, right? Yeah, probably. But I'm obsessed. I love the colors. I love the theme. I love the foil pairings that you could do with this. I feel like there's a lot of fun foils that would also be really pretty with this, like an icy blue or an icy purple, which we do. Well, like I think we have like a matte, like a light matte purple in one of the foils. I don't remember which one it is. Maybe Whimsical Bow. I think it'd be really pretty with this as well. But yeah, I love this kit so much. And I think like looking at it in both planners, I just have the same like butterfly feelings about it. And I do not regret using it 2 years in a row. So let's go ahead and start talking about the plans because I am bound to catch up to myself. So on Monday, I put in that I made French toast, and we also had bacon and Starbucks. I have Starbucks every single morning, and I only put it in if I have like really nothing else to put into my planner. I had planned on like giving up Starbucks again like after I gave birth, but I've still been quite tired, so I need the caffeine boost in the morning. I've been trying to drink less caffeine the rest of the day though, and just drink like water or vitamin water or juice boxes, like Honest Kids organic, what is this? Super Fruit Punch is my favorite juice box of all time. But I don't know if any of y'all love these for a long time, because I have. But they used to have like a watermelon on the picture, and now there's an apple, and there's definitely a taste difference between those two branding changes. I don't think there's a watermelon in this anymore. I do definitely miss the watermelon, but I've gotten used to the apple in the front. They're both Super Fruit Punch, but it was just a weird time of life to have that change, and like, yeah, I don't know if they'll ever bring back the watermelon version. It never advertised there being watermelon, but there's a watermelon in the picture, and that's the only thing that changed. So that's bound to be it. Am I right? I don't know. Then I put in that I cuddled Lila, and I also hung out with Theo and just kind of chilled. And then I put in that Bennett fell off his bed. I think I mentioned this last week whenever I mentioned that he pulled his curtain rod off the wall, which was just a pain. And that actually just got fixed last week. Like real time last week, Plan With Me, you know what I mean. But he fell off the bed, and it was so funny because I saw it on the baby monitor, and I like screen captured it because I just can't with this kid. He like moved his pillow like to like basically the edge of the bed and like laid down, picked up his book, and then like yeeted off. He was totally fine, but it was just one of those like a Three Stooges moment almost, like where you're just like, you just smack your head and you're like, kid, what are you doing? So I put that in because it was just like something that when I look back, I could be like, oh my goodness. And then I can show him the video whenever he's like 14 and be like, remember that time, Bennett? He said, Mom, stop. Then I put in that I ordered some of Lila's bedroom stuff. I finally like narrowed down a theme. It's so weird because before she was born, I was planning on doing like a boho, like cute pink, like brown kind of look, right? But out the door. She's a princess. It just happened, and it was before me very aesthetic, and now it's just very princess, very Disney princess, and it just happened. It changed my mind. I kicked into girl mom mode, and I was like, this is the life. And I have been showing like bits and pieces of it on my personal Instagram, and I'm just obsessed with her room. And then it kind of got me like in the spirit to finish the boys. Basically, Bennett's was like, they all like kind of like in this limbo of like it was painted and they have their furniture, but I had never like solidified a kind of theme for their room. So Bennett, I'm doing Star Wars by his request, and then, which I'm surprised he didn't want Mario, because he's like so obsessed with Mario. Nick bought him a Mario encyclopedia and then a Super Mario Odyssey gameplay book, like one of those like you can read about like how to play the game better. I don't know what they're technically called, like game guide, I don't know. But he like literally will not stop talking about the game guides and like going through every page and telling me about all the different costumes and Cappy and like all this random stuff. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. So I'm surprised he didn't want a Mario themed room, but like Star Wars is, I think, 10 times easier and like less obnoxious to look at. But we put his curtains up like I think yesterday, like they were fixed, and then I got like curtains that have glow in the dark stars on them, which are so cool. And then for Theo's room, we decided on Jungle Cruise, which I was going between a jungle theme and then a farm theme, because Theo really likes animals, like farm animals, jungle animals, that kind of vibe. And I was talking to Maggie of Crest Press, and I was like, I don't know which one to do, or something like along the lines of that. I don't know if I had already decided or whatever. And she's like, well, jungle, you could do Jungle Cruise. And I was like, well, that's a genius idea. So I was like, all three of them have basically Disney themed rooms, and that's adorable, and it works so well with like the vibes I was going for. And Theo loves it. Loves it. And obviously Bennett loves his too, because he's just so easy. But yeah, and then that day I ordered a bunch of stuff for Lila's room to get that like started / finished. Feel like I'm in the spirit of just trying to finish every room and get it all done. So I put that in, and then I put in a bath with Lila, another thing that like happens more than I put in my planner. But if I have nothing else to do, like as far as putting my planner, it's gonna go in because I have cute stickers for it. And then I watched Just Like That, which I feel like has become so controversial, or just like everyone loves to hate it, and I just love it. It's very cringy, but like I keep saying, that's I think how it always has been for the most part. But yeah, watch that. I don't know if that was the season finale or not. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? But I hope they do another season, and I think most people do, even if they say they hate it. I think it's entertaining. So, hoping they do another season, because I feel like they left it open to do another season or just to kind of end it. It depends. Then on Tuesday, I put in that Lila is 1 month old, which is wild because she is now, as of me doing this voiceover, 2 months old, which is just too much because she's like big. Like she got big, girl. Like I'm excited to hear like what she weighs, because she's chunky. She's not as chunky as Theo though, but she's on the verge of chunky, which is the way we like them. Then I put in that we had ramen tatsuya for lunch, which is so weird because I feel like, I don't know if it's because we've been together for 15 years or what, but like I feel like we read each other's minds, because Nick was going to be like near the area of ramen tatsuya, which there's like a million places to eat near there. And he's like, what do you want? And I was like, I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. And I wanted to say ramen, but I didn't want to like make him like drive. It was like a little bit farther than the area he was in. And he was like, all right, well, I'm just going to surprise you. He's like, just don't like look. And I'm like, okay, like don't look at like, you know, the card, like where he purchased food for the most part. And I was like, okay, weird. And then he brought home ramen tatsuya, and I was like, oh my goodness, wow. We haven't had ramen tatsuya in like, I think over a year now, possibly. Has it been a year? Or if it hasn't been a year, it's been like once within that year. But oh my goodness, was it so tasty, and now I want ramen. I love ramen in the winter. It's just something like soup, warm, winter, cold. Oh, so good. But yeah, we had ramen tatsuya, and then I called a Lila, and then Nick, like, I mentioned before, I've mentioned a while that he like writes down my plans for me at the end of the day, because otherwise I would forget, and then I have to go through like pictures and bank statements to try and figure out like what I did those days, and I can never remember anything. So he's been doing it for like 2 years now. He's like honestly the best, and like he does a really good job at it, and I love him so much for it, among other reasons. But he put in that Lila hates Nick because she was just not having it. She's definitely like full-blown mommy's girl. Every once in a while she'll be like cool with Nick, but most of the times not so much. She mostly just wants me. It is cute whenever she does want him. Like, she kind of warmed up to him towards the end of the week and was like, I guess this guy's okay. But it was funny that he put that in, so I left it on there. Then I put in that we watched Darcy and Stacy and Happy Endings, which we haven't watched Happy Endings in a while now. We've been like reading at night, which is weird. And then even when we weren't reading, it's just like a weird timing where like we're going to bed and Lila's tired, but we can't like watch TV because then she wakes up. So we'll watch like half of a 90-day episode, and there's so many like different spinoffs on at once. It takes us forever to watch each week, so we're always behind. So we never have time to even watch other shows besides 90 Day, basically. That's what I'm getting at. I think we watched Jersey Shore like last night. And then we were going to watch Darcy and Stacey, and then just kind of like, we were like, all right, we're just going to read because she's like ready for bed. Then on Wednesday, I put in that we got Monument, and we also had Starbucks. Then I made pretzels this day. Hannah had posted that she found like this recipe for an Annie Ann's dupe, and I really wanted to try it because it didn't look too difficult from the directions. It really isn't. Anything bread related or like bread pretzel, they're all kind of the same, but just a little bit different. Aren't that hard to make. And especially because I've been using my like stand mixer, it just takes like 98% of the work out of making anything like that. But these pretzels were so good. At first, whenever I took them out of, like, you put them in like a boiling water with like baking soda or something, I don't remember. I was like, these look like real sus. Like, I don't know about this. Like, they just look kind of nasty in like a weird pudgy kind of lumpy way. And then after I baked them, I was like, dang, these are so good, and I could actually go for them right now. And it's one of those things that I'm pretty sure I almost always have all of the ingredients for on hand, and I like kind of want to make them today, but also like it's a lot of pretzels for the recipe, and I may have to look and see if I could half it, but that sounds so good. And then I also made peanut butter cookies, which were also quite good and easy to make. Then I put in that I hung outside with the boys because it was a super nice day out, and then some of Lila's room stuff came in, which was super fast. And then I just hung out with Lila and just chilled for the evening. Then on Thursday, am I still on Monday? I am taking a long time. We will speed that up. So I probably won't be on Monday whenever I actually said that. On Thursday, I put in, if you've been here a real long time, you might remember in 2021. I think it was 2021 and 2020 and 2019. I think it's happened every year, and I don't know if there's like something about that. Why does it happen every year? I'm not quite sure. Let me know in the comments down below if you know why. Every year, not at the same time, but like about every year, I sleep wrong or do something or stretch or whatever, and I don't remember how the guy explained it, but basically like it like moves, like some vertebrae, like Oreo stuffing moves, and then it's just like misaligned, and my neck on the one side hurts. I can barely turn my head. I can barely sleep because it hurts so bad. It happened a long time ago when I went to San Antonio, and it was like 4 or 5 days. And it's happened a couple of times since. That was the first time it happened, and then it's happened a couple of times since. And usually I just kind of like live with it. And last year it was really bad and lasted like a week. And I was doing like exercises. And this year I was like, F it. I cannot live like this. I cannot. I've been so afraid of like going to like a chiropractor, which has basically been like the top suggestion from everyone I know is to go to a chiropractor. But like for some reason I have like medical doctor, dentist, like medical field anxiety besides my OBGYN, which I did have an OBGYN in the middle of my 2 OBGYNs who I literally was scared to go to the doctor. So I feel like I have to be very comfortable with the person, and obviously I had to because with an OB, like you have to go all the time whenever you're pregnant. So any which way, eye doctors aren't that bad. I do have an eye doctor appointment in 2 days, and I'm not like super stressed out about it, but like a little bit though. I think any appointments also make me a little bit stressed out because of like, I don't know, I have this thing where I feel like I'm wasting time whenever I like make an appointment. I don't know. I have things in my brain. Anyways, I had always been scared to go to a chiropractor, which most people said to go to. Yeah, I woke up and I was like, well, this happened like in the middle of the morning. Like I literally stretched my arm. The last time it happened, I was at work. I was talking to Kirsten and I like turned my head like around, like my body was straight and I turned my head like behind me, you know what I'm saying? Like to look behind me. And it happened. And I had to have Nick like come pick me up because it hurt so bad. But this time I was in bed in the morning, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I stretched and I just felt it and I was like, oh no. And then like it started hurting really bad. And I was like, I seriously can't take it. So I woke up to that woke up and it happened. And then I had an OB appointment this day. It was like my kind of 6 weeks, but she moved it to 4 or 5 weeks. I think it was like 4 weeks because I had went the last week, I think a week prior, because I was like worried about bleeding. And she was like, okay, just come in like in a week and we'll make that your like 6 week appointment because I didn't have like any tearing or anything. So she's like, probably could clear you then. And she checked everything. Everything's good. And everything's settled from that situation. Then on the way home, I was like, all right, I'm going to go to a chiropractor. I found a place that has like a walk-in, which I was like, weird, but okay, like good reviews. So we're just going to do it. And my goodness, was my chiropractor the dreamiest ever. And I don't know if I just like slightly fall in love with like chiropractors now and my like anesthesiologist, but because they just like take the pain away, I think that's kind of it. But I was like, wow, 1, dreamy. 2, changed my life. I walked out of there feeling like $1,000,000, and I was worried because I used to go get massages like after I had Bennett, and I was like, is this gonna be one of those things that like you feel good and then the next day you feel like okay, and then the next day you need to go back again, and like it's like a vicious cycle. But no, like it's been like the next day I woke up and I felt even better. Like after I left I felt like at 90%, and then whenever I woke up the next day I was 100%, and I've been good since then, knock on wood. But I like will never ever ever be like, I'm just gonna like work this out and like spend days like not sleeping well and in pain trying to do stretches for something that I can literally walk in and pay like a small fee. I think it was like $29 and I was fixed. I don't know why I didn't do it. I was just a wimp. So that's what happened. So I kind of kick myself for not going at the other times, but then now I know for future because apparently it's bound to happen again. Then I went to Target afterwards, and then I came home and cleaned the pantry and gave Lila a bath and cuddled Nick, and that was the night. On Friday, I put that I slept in. I think Nick let me sleep in this day. Like he just like took Lila when she woke up, and I got to sleep in. And then Nick and the boys went on a walk this day. They went down to like this little creek, and yeah, they had fun. It was like a nice day, a little chilly, but nice. And then I worked on cleaning the bathroom this day while they were gone. I wanted to like reorganize all of the like underneath drawers. And I also made deviled eggs this day, which I'd wanted for a while. And I think I tried to make them a couple days prior, but like it was all maybe in the same day actually, where I tried to make them in the air fryer because I had seen a couple of people mention that you can make hard-boiled eggs in the air fryer, and I don't know if I didn't do it right. I think that if I was trying to make a soft-boiled egg, it would have been perfect, but I don't know if I didn't cook it long enough. Like maybe it depends on like the air fryer. It's not like they didn't explode or anything. I just feel like they didn't cook even enough. So I might try that again in the future because it would be nice, like let's say if I wanted, not for deviled eggs, but like let's say I wanted a hard-boiled egg on like my avocado toast or like a soft-boiled egg. I think that would be like a nice way to do it without having to like boil or steam or whatever. So I might try that again in the future, like one egg at a time, and see kind of like what the sitch is for my air fryer in particular. But I was mostly afraid that they were going to explode, which no one said they ever were going to explode, but for some reason that just came to mind that like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen to me, but it didn't, so it was cool. But I think that I then boiled eggs and they turned out perfectly, and yeah, I just love deviled eggs so much. I could eat like probably like 6 eggs worth by myself. They're just so good. I'm just obsessed. I'm obsessed. Then I took a long bath this day because you're not supposed to take baths like before you're cleared. and I'm a rule follower. So I took a bath this day. I was really, really excited about that. And then I made up the kids' Valentine's Day baskets because I wanted to get that done early so that I didn't wait till the night before to do it, because the night before Valentine's Day, I was like at 9 o'clock, I'm like, oh man, I forgot to put those out. So I would have totally forgotten, and then I would have to stay up even later if I didn't have them done already. And then I made cinnamon rolls. I really wanted to, I think this might have been the day or it was the next week, I really wanted to make them like homemade, but I didn't have, no, I think that was a different day that I didn't have enough cream cheese. I think it was the day that I make buffalo chicken dip, and that's not this week. I think it's next week. And I didn't have enough cream cheese for both. But this day I just made regular cinnamon rolls because we had some left. And then we watched 90 Day on Saturday. I made big breakfast, which I was so hungry for. Actually, I was really hungry for it 2 days ago, but I didn't have any sausage. I was so mad because I just love big breakfast. It's basically like a breakfast casserole where I do onion, potato, sausage, egg, cheese, some butter, salt, pepper, and that's basically it. And then you make toast, and oh, it's a crowd pleaser. So good. And now I'm so hungry for it. I'm just always hungry, basically. I don't know. It's just a thing. Then I cuddled Lila, and for lunch, I ate desserts. And basically, Nick, I think I mentioned, has been going to the farmer's market on Saturdays. He hasn't been in a couple Saturdays, though. I think this was might have been the last time they went, or maybe he went the next week, and then that was the last time he went. He needs to go again soon, but I don't think that they've had like the specific desserts I'm looking for. But basically, they are Nordic. It's a Nordic bakery, and it's delicious. And I am so obsessed with everything that I've eaten so far. Which honestly, I just need to try everything that they make because it's so good. But specifically, they have these like almond caramel pastry things that are delicious. And then I tried these like circle bready dough ball things that like they cut them in half and put like cardamom cream and something, like it's like a whipped cream, and like I don't know, it's just so good. And like I'm not the kind of, I don't really love desserts that much, but I ate so much. So much. And then the last time Nick went, there was only one of them, and I was like, yeah, I'd share this with you, but no, not today, my friend. It's mine. They're so good, so delicious, and yeah, it's just my mouth's watering. There's nothing else to say. And then I looked at old pictures this day and videos, and I just was like reminiscing, apparently. I needed to take all of my stuff from my old hard drive and put on a new hard drive because Nick says that hard drives are not forever. And my hard drive was super, 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 super old, like probably 10 plus years old. So he wanted me to move it onto a new hard drive. And I did that, which took forever. And then while I was doing it, I was looking at old pictures, and there's just so many, and they're so poorly organized. And it was funny because I think I saw Fall Out Boy and the All American Rejects, and I don't remember who else, but I saw them whenever I was in the 6th grade. So that was the first time. I was young. 6 minus 10 is so like 2004. And I have this like in like one of my albums, like all the pictures from that, and I have like a good, great, okay, and bad or whatever, like categorizing the pictures. And I went to the great ones, and I'm like, they're like 4 pixels wide. They're not great, Andrea. They're terrible. But it's just like funny because that was like great quality then, and now it's like, you know, your iPhone can get like really good shots, like if you're at like a concert like that. But I just thought that that was really funny. And there's so many pictures of me and Nick like with like a flip phone camera that are also like 4 pixels wide. And it's just like crazy how the times have changed, and like all of my selfies that I took with a point and shoot before even having a cell phone. So I think it's just nuts that like so much has changed in the world in such a short time. Obviously, like things have been changing like for forever, but I just feel like so much has changed in the past like 15 years, like since I started dating Nick. It's just crazy because we didn't have cell phones when we started dating. We would communicate through MySpace or AIM or like calling on landlines. And then whenever I would have to go to my mom's in the summer because my parents are divorced, and I wouldn't see Nick for those like 3 months, and we would communicate through email. And on nights and weekends, I think we had free, or maybe it's just weekends, there was like free minutes on the landline my mom had. I don't know. And if like he called in, I don't know, it was like all so convoluted back then. We had dial up, so it was like so hard. Ugh, it was just the times. So definitely trip down memory lane. And then I put in that was just an overall boring day, and that we watched Single Life at Night. On Sunday, I made French toast for breakfast, which I have just been so obsessed with French toast. I don't know what it is, just breakfast in general though, like French toast, big breakfast, eggs with bacon and pancakes. Like I have been just jamming. I don't know what it is. Normally I'm not like a huge breakfast person, but recently, like the past year, I've been breakfast. And yeah, so I made breakfast. I actually want French toast right now too. I just basically always want food. Does anybody else like this? That they just like think about food and then they're hungry and it was just me? Then I went to work, and then I put in that Lila smiled at me, and she'd had like smirks prior, but this was a true smile, like the first one, and it was so cute. I don't know what happened. I think it was I went to work and then I came home, and like Nick met me at the door, and she was awake and she looked at me and smiled so big. And Nick was like, she was so upset prior. And I think it was because she saw me and she just loves me so much. But it literally made my whole life. All of the boys' first smiles were at Nick, and like they always be smiling at him. But like to have one of the babies like love me the most is just like, it's so heartwarming. And yeah, it's just so cute. And I just love her so much. She's just so little. Then, a little bit big. Then I put in that we got McDonald's and watched Jersey Shore Vacation, and that I was super sleepy. And that is everything for this week. I feel like I was very rambly about nothing, but I feel like that's just kind of me. So if you're here, you kind of know that already. But I hope you like this week's video, and I actually, it's so embarrassing, but like, I feel like such an old lady, basically. I made a reel with this like spread, and it's gonna be my first like professional in quotation marks, because I made a reel on my like personal one, which was like really messy as well. But this will be my first reel for SPC 10 years later, right? Like I'm behind on the trends, but Kane has been on my butt to like get into reels. I don't understand it. It's probably because I never like got into like watching TikTok, so I don't know like the trends or like anything basically, but I kind of have like a general idea now, and I made a reel with this like spread, and it's not great but not terrible. That's how I'm gonna explain it, and I hope that y'all like it, and feel free to make fun of me in the comments of it, or like if you have tips or like tricks, let me know. But I literally couldn't figure out how to make a reel using the Instagram stuff. Like I know how to use it, but like it just seems so complicated versus just taking the clips and putting it in Final Cut and like editing it there and then just importing it to Instagram. Like I literally couldn't, like I was like, this seems so complicated in Instagram. Like I can't even do it. It's just not gonna happen. So I did it in Final Cut, and I'm putting it on Instagram. So that'll be up sometime this week that this goes live. So I hope that you guys like it and don't make fun of me too much. But that is everything for this week, and I will talk to y'all in my next video. Bye.